Hi, everybody. You're very welcome along. My name is Noel O'Neill, and I'm a director of the Ayurveda Centre here in Ireland. And today we're having a little discussion with a lady from Scotland called Regina McClure. And this is a little series we're doing on people and their experience with Ayurveda and the benefits they've received from Ayurveda. So, Regina, you're very welcome along.
Hi there.
Whereabouts are you in Scotland?
I'm in the central belt of Scotland, Armadale, West Lothian.
Okay. And what's the weather like over there today?
It's pretty grey, pretty grim.
Yeah. It's pretty grey here as well. I'm in Drogheda and it's been raining all morning, but anyway, hopefully it might clear up in the afternoon. So,
Hopefully.
Regina, maybe you can just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to Ayurveda and what sort of things it has helped you with.
Yeah, sure. It's helped me a lot, but how I came to Ayurveda was through my friend Bernie back in August, September of 2020. I really just had a sort of real big flare up of all over body stiffness. I do have arthritis in both wrists and thumbs and in my neck. I had juvenile arthritis as a child, but it hadn't bothered me really up until I started getting into my late 40s and then into menopause, where it started to get really bad. In the August, September of 2020, I had kind of like what I called a meltdown. Overall body stiffness, couldn't turn my neck, couldn't use my hands to lift my new grandchild. I couldn't cut vegetables, they were so sore. My neck wouldn't turn. I was imploded with all the menopause symptoms of night flushes, night sweat, all the hot flushes, hot sweats, terrible mood swings. And I was just getting over the loss of my mother, so had a lot of grief going on. And my friend Bernie, who I turned to for help, who knew a lot about Ayurveda, which she suggested that I started a whole plan of Ayurveda, a routine to settle what they called Vata, which I didn't know what was at the time what that was, but she gave me the links to get in touch with you guys. And I started watching the free webinars at the time every Tuesday and Thursday. And I did the Change of Season webinar to learn all about that and to get to know what she was telling me my body type was, so that I could live according to my body type to start getting well, because I couldn't take the drugs that the doctors were giving me or wanted to give me, HRT. They wanted to put cortisone into my hands and a number of other things. They wanted to give me antidepressants, anti-anxiety tablets. But I'd seen my mother suffer through medical drugs, although they did help her as well. And I didn't want to go that way, so I chose to join you guys, and I've only got better and so well since then. Yeah, and I started consulting with your doctors as well. No,
Okay, so you had a lot going on, really. So that was back
I
in
really did.
2020. Yeah, so that was during COVID, really. That was during the start of the COVID lockdown. And that's when we
Yeah.
started doing all the free courses that we did. So you did that 7-lesson course with us, did you?
Yes, several times. Yes.
Okay. So that's a really, really valuable course. We were very happy with that. That's a course we gave out for free during COVID, and we've had, I think, about 25,000 people do that course. And it's so I'll show people the link to do that later on. So what type of advices did you get? I mean, which of the doctors did you consult with in
Um,
Ireland from our team?
Well, it started with Bernie. I started on the 21-day routine thing, and then I consulted with Dr. Brennan. And Dr. Brennan immediately started getting my digestive issues sorted out, because I had constant indigestion as well. I just needed to look at some food and I had indigestion.
Right.
And I wasn't sleeping well either. So he started sorting out my sleep, my digestion, and he got me on to your menopause support herbals as
Right.
well, and the night flush herbals, which all really, really helped. I mean, I had a full lifestyle prescription that I just to start working little bit by little bit to start integrating into my life, as well as learning about what I was doing. So it was Dr. Brennan I started with, and over a few months with Dr. Brennan, up until coming up to maybe the spring when I did your first cleanse, your first spring detox, your kapha cleanse.
Yeah. And that would have introduced you to Dr. Rajvinder, I suppose, because I
It
think
did.
she was, yeah.
That's right. And Dr. Regina started consulting with her. I think Dr. Brennan wasn't available at some point, and he was okay with me working with Dr. Raj as well as himself. And she came on board and worked further with my arthritis and the body stiffness, which was beginning to ease by then. And then after the cleanse, I mean, I felt 10 years younger, and I had I didn't need the cortisone in my hands. They were
Right.
working. I could turn my
Okay.
neck. Honestly, it was like, I just kept saying it was like some kind of miracle had happened. You know, I was waking
Yeah.
up smiling rather than crying in the morning as
Right.
well. So,
Yeah, no, it's amazing because the
oh,
Ayurvedic approach, I mean, the main thing with Ayurveda
yeah,
is always diet and lifestyle. So it's
yeah,
always trying to get your lifestyle and your diet. And digestion is seen as being really, really important. I mean, the strange
mhm,
thing is you can be eating good foods, but if your digestion is not strong, you're not taking the benefit from them. So
yeah,
one of the first things with most conditions that Ayurveda will work on is your digestion to get your digestion strong. But
yeah.
that involves not just what you eat, but when you eat. And
Mm.
also, you may be given things like ginger and trickatoo to help strengthen that digestion, you know. So I know Dr. Brennan, obviously, and I know when someone comes along with a lot of conditions, you know, it's just a little thing at a time. You
That's right.
can't overwhelm somebody and say, listen, you need to do all of these things. You need to suddenly start going to bed at 10 o'clock when you were going to bed at 1 o'clock. And you need to change it's too much for people to do. So the doctors would be very aware of that. So I presume it was just a little change at a time, a little change at a time. And then,
It really was. No, it was. I just started adding little bits in at a time, and I mean, this is 2024 now, and I'm still working with you guys. I'm still doing my maintenance. I mean, I feel amazing. I feel better now than I have done in years. And it was all learning about the food and the digestion and the circadian rhythms, and just doing it bit by bit so that I wasn't overwhelmed. Um,
yeah, yeah. Because Ayurveda, as you know, it's always treating the person rather than treating the disease, you know. So disease is just symptomatic of some imbalance. Even it's in the word itself, disease, it's disease. The system is no longer at ease with itself. So even somebody making changes to their diet, making changes to the way that they eat, you know, sitting down for your meal and having your main meal in the middle of the day, maybe sipping some hot water, getting to know about a few food combinations and the use of herbs and spices in food, which is like really, really important to help strengthen the digestion. And then, you know, eating light in the evening time and then going to bed a little bit earlier. Even those changes that somebody does, they can have a profound impact on anything, no matter what it is that people are suffering from, you know. So but I presume it's a continuing journey for you. Like you've probably integrated Ayurveda a lot into your lifestyle now, have you?
It is. I more or less live Ayurvedically. I mean, I always loved yoga. That was one of my medicines I used to always say, but I didn't know about Ayurveda back then, even though I was doing the yoga. And I ate relatively well, but my digestion wasn't good. But yeah, I've integrated mostly. That's how I live and cook. I have a balance, I still, um, do other things.
Yeah.
But mostly I really recognize now when my body's going out of balance, and when it is at dis-ease, and I quickly try and bring that back in. I mean, I learned transcendental meditation back when I was 29 or 30 years old, when I developed hypothyroidism, to try and help with that. And again, I didn't realise that Ayurveda was out there back then either. But I was
Mhm.
doing TM, and then I kind of moved away from it to a lot of other modalities. But when I came back to it, when I started Ayurveda, I went back to TM, and I'm now a regular meditate. I mean, every day, try to do twice a day, but that's not often possible depending on how busy I am. But we do our best, and we go
Yeah.
gently. Yeah,
Yeah, no, Ayurveda would definitely see the advantage of meditation, that's for sure, because it's mind,
absolutely.
body, spirit. So it's the mental aspect as well as actually, I would say the TM is probably one of the strongest modalities, you know,
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
you know, just giving your mind that break and giving it some peace and allowing the body, because it's not just affecting your mind, it obviously has a big effect on your physiology. When if
Yes.
you're full of anxiety, your body's full of anxiety, it's pumping cortisol around the place and stress hormones. When you're relaxed in the mind, your body's relaxed. You know, you've got serotonin, it's less cortisol, it's in a more, and that has great, great benefits for people, you know. So it seems like it's a good success story so far anyway for you with Ayurveda. And are you on any allopathic medication at the moment, or is it just all
No,
uh,
I'm back on using some herbals. Dr. Raj has been going really deep with me in regards to the arthritis. You know, after each cleanse and things I do, I'm getting better. My body's getting less stiff every time, and I very rarely get stiff and sore now. I mean, there was a time though when I tried to hike a mountain and I'd have maybe 8 paracetamols and a good few ibuprofen because of the neck and shoulder pain and in my
right?
spine with the arthritis. I don't touch any of that stuff now. I'm fine. I'm almost pain free.
Yeah, no, that's good
Majority of the
because
time, but I do
yeah.
maintenance. You know, I make sure I live well now and live Ayurvedically.
Okay. Yeah, because taking those painkillers on a continuing
Oh,
basis is definitely not a good idea. It's
no, it
definitely not
definitely
a good
wasn't.
idea.
It really wasn't.
Yeah, yeah. So that's great. So actually, the spring detox Regina's talking about there is we do a spring and an autumn detox every year with the Ayurveda Center. So the spring would be a kapha detox. It's a 7-day detox that we do, and then the autumn one would be a pitta detox because pitta people new to this won't know these terms, but if you do our free course, you'll know all about them. So yeah, and people I think find those cleanses very, very beneficial. I mean, the spring one is just really it's just a matter of eating lighter for, it's kind of nearly coincides with Lent, which was a tradition in Ireland anywhere where people ate lighter, but it's just a 7-day thing where people eat a little bit lighter and they take certain herbs and they detoxify the body. So what I want to do, Regina, is I want to just share my screen because I want to show people where they can go to
Okay.
find that course. So this is our website. It's ayurveda.ie. You can probably see that on your screen at the moment. And one of the things, the main thing there we have there is the free 7-lesson course. So for people interested in doing that, they can just click on that link and they can register for their free copy. And then there's a description of the different lessons that are there, an introduction to Ayurveda, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, the rhythms of nature, digestion, and the 6 stages of disease. So it's a really, really good course. It's a great course for people just starting off with Ayurveda to give them a good understanding of what it is. It's free as well. And as I say, we've had, I think maybe between 25 and 30,000 people register for that course since we brought it out in 2020. So yeah, so if people want to do that, they can register on that. So as I say, just ayurveda.ie and the spelling is AYURVEDA.ie. Okay, and
Right.
so I'm back to you, Regina. And so your main things then were like it was the menopausal thing that every woman has to go through anyway, but
Yeah.
people obviously are affected differently, have stronger or lesser symptoms. And then you had the arthritis as well, so they were the 2 big issues that you were faced with.
Yes, but while they've been healing, I've actually just noticed over my last few blood tests, I've been hypothyroid for since I was 28 years old, since I had my daughter when I got really sick. And I, my thyroid levels I've always sat, the TSH levels always sat about 4.8, something like that, even with taking the thyroxine that I take every day. Since I've started Ayurveda, they've dropped and dropped and dropped. And they're now down. I'm now at a healthy level of thyroid, although they're still giving me 50 grams of thyroxine. I'm down at 1.9 on the TSH levels as opposed to sitting at 4 point odds for how many years? 20 odd years. And I've got a consultation with my GP to see if they're now going to lower the thyroxine levels. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
actually been healing in the background.
Yeah, yeah, it's
In the
amazing because
time.
the body is one unit. I mean, I know modern
Amazing.
medicine likes to divide it up into your
Mhm.
liver, your kidneys, all these different systems, circulatory system and all this, but it's actually just one whole unit. And if something is going wrong with one area, it's going to be affecting all areas because it's all so intricately interconnected. So once you do something good for yourself, like, I listened to a guy on the radio the other day. He was talking about, moderate exercise for people, and he was a medical doctor. And like it was fantastic to hear it because basically what he said is we don't have a pill that does what exercise does. The
Yeah.
benefits of just taking a walk in nature are immense, and they are immense. They're good for your mental health, they're good for your physical health, they're good for your weight, they're good for your blood pressure. So, anything positive that's affecting the body or any lifestyle change will have an effect on everything. So it doesn't surprise me really that your thyroid, those readings came down as well. So, because everything affects everything else. And do you do asanas? Do you mind me asking?
Yes, I do. Yes,
You do your
regularly.
asanas.
Yes, I do.
Okay, okay, they're a great thing to do as well. So you
Yeah.
seem to have it pretty together there anyway, Regina.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
So keep going.
it's who I am now. It's amazing. I mean, no, it's brought me not just much better health, but the joy I have with it, and the
Yeah.
community that's building around it as well. I mean, I just swear by it, and I hope someone listens to this and manages to find their way to it as well to
Yeah,
help
well, we'll
ease them
put this out and we'll
if there's
send it out to
something.
our community. We are building
Yeah,
a big community of Ayurvedic
yeah.
fans, really, and people who are coming to Ayurveda. I know, depending on what time people are listening to, I know you're in Scotland, but I know Dr. Rajvinder is going to be going to Scotland, I think, to do consultations sometime in May. As far as I know, she's going to Glasgow, but she'll probably be in touch with you about that. She's going to the TM Centre in Glasgow to give consultations.
Oh,
So yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I'll be sending an email out about that. But yeah, it is a growing community, and this is why I want to do these little videos, because people are getting great benefits from Ayurveda. We don't make promises to anybody like that would be kind of irresponsible. But we're just saying, look, this is a way of approaching your health, and it's all to do with diet and lifestyle and maybe herbal preparations. We're not telling people to stop taking their medication or stop going to their GPs. This can be done, in parallel to that, and people are getting, fantastic results from it, So thanks very much for
You're
Regina for coming
welcome.
on. That's great.
Okay.
And it's great to hear your story. And I just wish you continued success. And you're a shining example of what Ayurveda can do for
Thank
people.
you.
So thank you. Thank you. So
Okay.
I'll just stop the recording now.